Hello, in this video, we're going to take a look at two of our 9 steps, which are to establish a founding board member group and also to build a bare bones budget. These are 2 steps in the 9 steps to launch your nonprofit from scratch and set it up as a sustainable operation. Other videos cover other areas. So let's dive right into the founding board. So selecting the founding board members of a nonprofit is a key component of your success. The networks they bring, the skills they bring, all help you succeed. So let's look at the diverse skill sets here. We're looking for people with a range of skills and expertise. If you have that skill set, it'll help you leverage that as you build out your nonprofit. This helps you with your long-term success, fundraising, etc. So we're looking for both soft skills and hard skills. Soft skills include things like networking and influence, and technical skills include things like legal, marketing, fundraising, program development, finance, etc. Now, choosing a well-balanced board is one part of it. The other is making sure that they work well together as a team. The next item when you're looking for a founding board member group is passion and commitment. You want a board member group that is passionate about your mission. If you've done your work earlier on in terms of defining the need, establishing a mission statement, and you've communicated these to your potential board members, this will help bring them on board and help them figure out whether this is something they're interested in. So, a board member's passion, if they're aligned with you, will become evident to their network and they'll do more to raise funds and support you in your success. Then there is the board's community connections. Is the board well connected within the community? Can they reach out to people? Can they reach out to vital networks that can help you succeed? And this is not just fundraising, but also the supplies and goods that you need, maybe even soft support like service support that you need to make your nonprofit successful. And these connections can open up doors for you. Now, when it comes to fundraising and partnership opportunities, your board's connections will make a huge difference. A board with strong community ties helps your nonprofit establish credibility and also to broaden its reach. Next, let's take a look at leadership and governance. A board needs to provide great leadership and governance and not get involved in day-to-day operations. A board's role is not management, it is governance. And if you have a good qualified board that's respected by the community or in the industry, then your nonprofit will automatically benefit from their standing. It's important to clarify that as they oversee your functions, they equip you to act with confidence. Now, one thing to consider is to maximize the impact of your board is to provide coaching and support to new board members so they understand the role of a board, and that will also give them confidence and clarity on what they need to achieve. Now, a strong board will help you with your fundraising efforts, and that's not just pounding on the doors and asking for money. That's thinking about ideas and ways to roll out fundraising programs. So, board engagement is crucial to the sustainability of your nonprofit. While some members may be experienced in this area, fundraising, others may not. So, you may want to provide some coaching to get them up to speed too. Be transparent with prospective board members that if they join your board, these are the things you expect them to do. That diverse leadership, the skill sets to bring to the table, the passion and commitment, communicating to their network, and of course, fundraising, assuming you want them to do this. To help you in identifying the right candidates, it makes sense for you to build a checklist of the skills you value, whether they're hard, as in technical, or soft, in people and networks, etc. And then, of course, comparing those potential candidates to see how well they get along. Do they work well together as a team? So, to set them up for success, once you've narrowed down your list, consider creating a formal onboarding process for board members. Provide coaching or mentorship for new members on the role, which is governance, not management. And that will equip them with the knowledge to act with confidence and clarity. So remember that your founding board members set the tone for your nonprofit's culture, strategy, and future success. So choose carefully, invest in their development for a lasting and long-term effect. Now that we've got the board members behind us, let's move on to the bare bones budget. The bare bones budget is an effort to try and estimate how much money you need to launch your nonprofit, assuming you start with no capital. So this is the amount of money you need to cover the expenses to get your nonprofit up and running and also provide a small cushion for you to raise funds for the first round. So some of the items on that list include the proper organization, legal fees, insurance, office expenses, record keeping, and websites. Now, let's take a look at each of these in turn. Proper organization. Your nonprofit needs a legally registered name as well as any necessary permits or licenses required in your state. Getting this right the first time avoids costly delays or penalties. So budget for state filing fees, which vary, and consider using a legal professional to help you do this. Next is the legal professional themselves. Get an estimate of what they'll charge for you to set up that nonprofit organization. That's not just the registration, it's the articles of incorporation, the registration, the bylaws, perhaps even the first board meeting, and even filing for the IRS tax exempt status using the Form 1023. Some of the fees you might run into include the things we spoke about, like the fees for a lawyer to draft your articles of incorporation and bylaws, the filing for the 501c3 status with the IRS, and then annual reporting fees in some states. And these documents are the backbone of your organization. The next thing to consider in your bare bones budget is insurance. Depending on what your nonprofit does, your insurance requirements might vary, but some of the common ones are general liability insurance, directors and officers insurance, and then the other policies would depend on whether you need workers' compensation, event insurance, etc. The exact coverage needed will depend on whether your nonprofit is employees, volunteers, or public-facing activities. Another item to consider would include office supplies and furniture. What kind of technology do you need for your office? Computers, printers, internet costs, etc. And then there are employee expenses if hiring staff and the systems needed to support them, like a payroll system, a benefit system, etc. Then record keeping software. You need some kind of record keeping software. This might be accounting software like QuickBooks or Zoho or something similar. Donor management software or CRM software, customer relationship management, which might include DonorBox or Bloomerang. Cloud storage and collaboration tools like Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, or Dropbox. And then, of course, there's training and professional development because a well prepared team helps you to be more successful. So you need to budget for some of that. Some of the basic requirements would be board training in governance and compliance, fundraising workshops and courses, legal and nonprofit management training. Then think about things like event and volunteer costs. Many nonprofits rely on events and volunteers to grow their impact. Consider the costs for recruiting the volunteers, appreciation for the volunteers, whether it's t-shirts, meals, mugs, thank you gifts, etc., event space rental or fundraising to raise awareness, permits and licenses you might need for these activities. So that'll get you a list of what the bare bones items are. So the idea here is you build a budget that tries to capture as best as you can the total cost to form your nonprofit, set it up, and also have enough money to do a round one of financing to get you going. Now, in terms of final thoughts, we think that developing this budget in collaboration with your board ensures a realistic approach. Now, this happens particularly if your board is experienced, and it helps set an appropriate initial fundraising goal. Oftentimes, this number ranges between $2,000 to $5,000, but it could be higher depending on your state and the plans you have. One thing I did not mention that was really important in your initial startup budget is your website and communication. Your online presence is often the first impression potential donors and partners have of your nonprofit. The key costs of this include the website domain registration and website hosting, email setup, basic branding and design, and then next comes marketing and outreach. Marketing and outreach lets you raise awareness. So these are some other things you need to consider. And in that same vein, think about graphic design services, printing costs of business cards, flyers, etc., advertising, promos, ads, social media campaigns, etc. So once again, developing this budget in collaboration with your board allows you to have a realistic and complete budget. And this budget gives you what you need for the next stage, which is to go and raise the funds. So in the next video, we'll be covering startup funding. And startup funding has developing a funding strategy, identifying your audience, creating an outreach plan, executing and monitor, and then adjust and repeat, and of course, thanking your donor. And then in terms of closing comments, the board you recruit can have an outsized impact on your nonprofit success. Their domain knowledge, as in legal, operations, human resources, fundraising, etc., can help you choose the best vendors for your nonprofit. The board's not going to do the work, but they can help you think through these issues. Their fundraising abilities, network, and passion can also contribute to your ability to fund your nonprofit. Now, the fact that the board works well together in the mix that you choose is a great part of making a successful board. Because at its core, a nonprofit success is dependent upon A, raising enough funding to keep your programs alive and thriving, while B, managing expenses wisely. So the key to bare bones budget, if I was summarizing all that we've covered so far, would be that try and get the best estimate you can to get your business up and running. So if you found this presentation helpful, we invite you to like, subscribe, and follow us for updates. Please comment below with questions or ideas on other topics. Best wishes as you build your nonprofit and bring your vision to life. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you so much for watching.